Hello students, how are you today? Everything is good? Good, that's good. So, I have been noticed that some of you seem to have problems with the use of the past tenses, either simple past, past continuous. So that's why I want to take this lesson to review both tenses. So let's try to make it clear this time. Hopefully this time will be the good one, This time it will be clear for everyone. So first of all, tell me, here we have a few sentences in our board. Tell me, what do they have in common? How about you, Jose? They are in past, of course, that's right. They are in past, and what can we say? What can we say from past tense? Why do we know these sentences are in past? Maria? Because they have the verb in past? Okay. What tells you that the verb is in past? That's correct. Some of them have the ed ending, right? So that's the first clue, or that's how we know we have a verb. We have a sentence written in past, or we're talking of something that happened before, right? Something in the past. Okay, so tell me, now that we have these sentences, we know that in past we have both things. We have either regular verbs or we have irregular verbs, right? What's the difference between them? Do you know the difference, Fernando? You don't know the difference. Okay, let's try this. You tell me, you can see in the picture, no, in the board, you can see, okay, we have here, he ran away, right? He talked to his friend. We worked all night. Can you see any similarities between these two and a difference with this one or with this one? Okay, some of them have ed, and what about the others? They don't have the ed. That's right, that's correct. So we call regular verbs to those for which we only have to add the ed at the end of them to make them, to transform them into their past version, okay? For those other verbs that change entirely, we call them irregular verbs, okay? Are we following? Alright, we're in the same page. So, our first sentence, is it a regular or irregular verb? It's a regular verb, okay? That's right. What about the second? Remember, we have ed here. Regular verb, okay. So, that seems to be clear. It seems that we have that clear. So, let's put our sentences in order. So, now, all of these sentences, they all communicate an idea in the past, right? It's something that has already happened, especially something that has already finished, right? He talked to his friend. He's no longer talking. We know he's no longer talking. We worked all night. That was last night. That was maybe 2 or 3 nights ago, and we are no longer working, right? So all of these sentences, they communicate a finished action, something that's no longer happening. We are sure it's no longer happening, right? And as a reminder, we have the general structure for each one, for each type of verb, right? So we have the person, he, we, I. We have a regular verb ending with ed, talked, worked, graded. And we have the rest of the sentence, okay? For irregular verbs, it's the same thing. It just changes the way of the verb, okay? So Now that's the objective of this lesson. As I told you before, I have noticed that some of you have problems to differentiate between simple past and past continuous. So now that this time it seems like we have the simple past. It's clear now. Okay, is it clear? Okay, it's clear. So now let's move on to the next part. Here, let's see the difference between the simple past and the past continuous tense. So in the simple past, we know that our actions have finished. In the past continuous tense, we have, or we are talking mostly about incomplete actions. It can communicate several things, but for the most part we're talking about incomplete actions. So here we have some examples of what we can communicate using the past continuous tense. It can communicate incomplete actions, like they were running late. At that time they were running late. We are not sure if they got there on time or not, or we're not sure what happened next. Okay, it also provides a background for a story. The sun was shining that day, the birds were singing, the water was flowing. It was a beautiful day. Okay, so here we are providing the background for a story. It also expresses a change of mind. I was thinking it might not be a good idea. Before that, I was okay with it. I was agreeing with it. But right now, I'm thinking it might not be a good idea. Are we following clear? Are we following? Following clear, what's that? Are we following? Yes, it's clear. Okay. Now, finally, it also helps to make very polite requests. I was wondering if you could bring me that paper. I was wondering if you could answer a few questions for me, right? So, what can we see? What can we see from these sentences? What do you think? What's their general structure? Can you tell me what's their general structure? Yes, that's right. We have it here. But tell me, what can you see? Of course, we have the person, they, the sun, I, and I. Then we have to add our auxiliary verb, were or was is the verb to be. So we have were, was, and then we have to add the verb, our action with the ing ending, right? With the ing suffix. So this is the present participle form, and this is the general structure for our past continuous tense. Now we have some examples here. Can you help me to quickly change them from their simple past into their past continuous tense? So Jose, he ran away. What can you tell me? What's the past continuous tense? He was or were? Of course, he was what? He was running away. That's right. Good. Maria, he talked to his friend. What can you tell me? He was talking to his friend, of course. They were... Okay, that's a good one. They were losing the train. Good. Now we will change from the past continuous into the simple past. Fernando, can you help? Can you help us with this one? We were working all night, so we saw it a moment ago. We worked all night, of course. And we have the rest of our sentences. Now I am going to give you a few sentences and you're going to write them, and you will say, you will write if it's either simple past or past continuous tense. Okay, let's do this. Let's begin.